Right, Monday, trading show. Exciting times, right? Here to talk about trading, aren't we?
We are. And
Very
Sean's
good.
Tinder
Very
dates.
good.
Yeah.
What's been happening in your lives, people?
Mine? Not a lot.
No? Same as Bitcoin, just cruising along?
Just cruising along, yeah.
Exciting. Sure. Didi, anything exciting on your end?
Yeah, of course. Just creating every day new content on the YouTube channel, planning our next trip. Kopangan got alive again. I had the first Rasta home party last
Oh, I was so jealous of that video.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was amazing. It exploded. Like all people were
Yeah.
there and they wanted to celebrate, and it was celebrated. It was.
Oh my God, I saw that on your YouTube and I was just like, oh, I want live music. I want to go. I want to travel. Oh, so good.
Yeah, it's like
which party was it, Didi?
That was at Rasta Home. Rasta Home had a huge opening, and they like expected like 100 people, but everybody started to text each other, of course. So it was fully packed, and they started to play live, and there was dancing and singing, and it was just a very happy time. They closed around 1 o'clock. But you know, since the 1st of July, like it's like they don't care about the rules anymore. Like it's just, you know, nobody wears mouthpieces anymore. Nobody goes into the 7-Eleven wearing a mouthpiece. Like all the bars are open. It just ended. That wasn't my Tinder date. That was just daughter. Jessa, come show your face. Yes. Look. Sean and Lisa. Wow, beautiful lipstick. Show the shirt. Can you pick the shirt you made yesterday? Yeah, take it. Jessa created a really cool shirt. Sorry. You can edit it.
No, that's okay.
Nothing's happened in Bitcoin for the last week, so
something important happened. Jessa created a Bitcoin t-shirt herself.
There we go.
That's the back. Bam.
Oh, that is so cool.
How cool?
Yeah, that is so awesome.
Cool, huh?
I want one.
Here, they like it.
Are you gonna sell those on the website?
Yeah, sell those online.
If Bitcoin doesn't move,
I'll buy one.
If Bitcoin doesn't move up soon, we need to sell them, Sean.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, so we've got lots to talk about this week, but for the people that do want to have a look at some charts and not hear about Tinder dates, shall we have a look at some charts and then we'll?
Yes, you have to enable my sharing. I cannot share.
Oh, did I do that again?
Yeah, you did that again.
Ooh.
Sharing is caring, Sean, also for your Tinder dates.
Oh my God. Screen share is enabled.
What is it? It's just like sharing is caring, Sean. It's like, I'm sure all the girls watching this would like to see what your Tinder date's going to get. Is that correct?
Moving on. Moving on.
All right. So I've thrown some full Elliott waves on my Bitcoin chart for everyone out there so they can see what I'm seeing and why I still think we're going up here. So I still think we're in this wave one pattern. It could be one of two patterns here. So we could have, this could be our A pattern. We're coming down for a B after this, and we're still corrective, and then we go up for a C, and then after the C wave at about 16,000 we've got a greater dip, or we've got this pattern here which could potentially, you know, also take us to 21,000. So this is confirmed by hitting and breaking this next pivot up here at 10,700. So if we don't break this pivot, we're still in a corrective phase. So that puts us in an ABC and not an impulse. So if this is the first wave and we're going to 10,700 and we can hit that pivot, then the next wave obviously is a wave two. And then we're going we're into the wave three right now. So yeah, so we've got this here potentially. So we've got our one wave, so 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this wave here could extend, and we could go higher, but right now we're still in this corrective phase here. We've been in this, and it's very much consolidating in this region. And we saw, I think it was last year when we sort of hit around the 4,000, 3,000 mark, that we consolidated within that period for about 2 months, which is about what we've done here. So with a consolidation pattern, it's really, really, really important for the long-term health of any coin. So you don't want them to ever go up straight. I know everyone does want them to go straight up, but that's not how, you know, the health of the coin long-term is held. So we want sort of support and resistance areas that we can actually sort of, you know, when the coin sort of corrects down, now that we've had this 2-month period of, you know, consolidation, it's now a firm base that, you know, once we correct, it's going to hold. So we can see that we're still under this red resistance here. So once we break this and we go to this 10,700 mark, we will come down and hold, because we've got so much support in this area now that, you know, it's just, that's what we want. It's like we've got 2 months of consolidation, and then, you know, we hit our targets, come back down, and we hold that, you know, finally, hopefully hold the resistance as support. And that will take us to the higher ranges of 16 to 21,000. So yeah.
Yeah, good point. I read a survey over the weekend. You know, just the general awareness of Bitcoin and digital assets, well, specifically Bitcoin was the one asked about in the survey in the UK. The you know, people that had actually heard of it has increased from 40% in their survey last year to up around 80 now. So, you know, I think that's a good point, Lisa, isn't it? You know, just the sort of long period of sticking around the 9K mark without that volatility.
Yeah. And it's really important as well for the miners, because the miners are finally in profit. I was watching Didi the other day, and he was talking about the miners, and, you know, they're finally at a stage where they're not needing to sell.
Yep.
So, you know, they can accumulate now as well. We've got exchanges that are accumulating, and, you know, their BTC like stocks are going up and up and up. And, you know, so, and then we've got like Grayscale and sort of funds like that are accumulating as well. So I think the long-term health of Bitcoin is really, really good, especially with this huge big consolidation point we're at the moment. So, you know, 9K, even the pivot, the bullish pivot's at 8,422 on this chart. So that's, you know, incredibly safe right now. Especially with the bullish cross on the MAs, which are these pink lines here. So, you know, and they're holding.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Excellent. So,
but we've had a really awesome week in the alts this week. So with Bitcoin going sideways. So, yeah. Did you guys get in on any of these trades?
I've been looking at yes, you've put some pretty good ones out there. I wish I had been in on a few of them, but no.
So we had Kava. So on our Kava trade, we made 60%.
And what time period? That's from...
that's a week.
Oh, yeah, because you called that out last Monday, didn't you?
Yeah. So that's a week. Our ONG trade finally hit our buy zone and is sort of taking off a little bit sideways. We could see a little drop here, but you know, long term, we're looking really good for this. This is a long term chart. So, you know, we've got a $2.20 target. So, you know, I'll sell when it hits there. So I do. This is one of my favorites at the moment. So it's holding a strong support as well. So we've got this strong support that's been traveling along since the 4th of June. So we've been a month on this support. We should see a bounce here soon. Our RSI is starting to turn down, which should turn up, and our volumes come down to a nice level where we should start getting some volume back in. Tezos has also held our diagonal support and should get a bounce here soon to the upper target. So this is a chart that we've been trading for quite some time. It's broken away actually from it normally trades just after Chainlink, and because Chainlink's had some really good news with China, Tezos hasn't had that news. So it's sort of broken away from the pattern and sort of running straight after Chainlink has, but this has seen a nice correction, a nice consolidation here, and we should start moving higher on this one soon. So we have an upper target of $3.51 on this one, which will at this point give us 55%, 57% profit on that one. So when we get a bounce. So looking at all of these alts and seeing where they are in their pattern, also shows me that BTC is fairly sort of strong in these regions. So most of the alts, if they haven't had a run, they're at the final stages of their corrections and about to sort of run. Litecoin's another one that we look at. Now, Litecoin used to run, it doesn't do it anymore. So Litecoin used to run first, and then we could, get the indication that Bitcoin was about to run. So we would see Litecoin take off, and then all of a sudden Bitcoin would take off. So at the moment, it's stuck under some strong resistance. We've got a second resistance point now that we've hit. We could go into an extended correction, but I don't really think it's going to. I think, sort of the short term on Litecoin is like the 49 mark, and longer term, we've got, 59 and 65 is a really, really strong resistance. So with Litecoin, so potentially at this point, we have also, so all the charts are kind of showing the same thing. So they're showing sort of 55 to, 57, 60% profits in this region for the charts that are nearing, completion of these corrections. So Nano was our trade of the week last week, and it's had small bounces so far, and we're still consolidating. It's gone into an extended correction, and we've almost finished this correction here. I'm still anticipating that we will get $1.13 on this chart before a greater dip down to 85. So, our longer term target on this one is $1.48, which if we rebuy down the bottom here, we've got a really nice profit of 75%. So, there's some really, really good profits to be made in the altcoins right now. Chainlink, so we've got two patterns here. So Chainlink sort of in, a kind of a weird pattern right now, just due to the news that is coming out in China, that they're using it, that they're sort of promoting it. China sort of have, turned away from Bitcoin, but they're using Chainlink, which is kind of cool. So, if we can, we've got a strong resistance here, which goes right, as I draw on my chart, which we will see goes right back straight through, like to our, this is sort of February. We've seen this sort of resistance area for quite some time. So it's been a challenge to break it. So, even if we can get to this point up here, the $5.47 sort of mark, we're still probably going to fall back under that $5 mark again. So, Chainlink is sort of struggling to really break that $5 mark. It's, you know, this is, I think it is like the 5th attempt over, you know, a period of about 6 months or so. So yeah, so if it can break that, it's kind of like the Bitcoin pivot right now that we're seeing at 10,700 that we really need to break. So, you know, even if it's just a wick, we get up there and we get a wick, the long-term health of these coins, if they're sort of stuck under these resistance areas, can, you know, turn them the other way, because people sort of get bored and you know, move to the next best thing. So yeah, ZIL was a chart that we put out the other day, a quick one. We made, I think it was 8 to 20% on this small bounce here. We should see a bounce up to here, and I think it's about, the total was about 60% on this one as well. So yeah, so 61%. So we have most of the alts that, you know, haven't had their runs, finishing their corrections and moving into that next bounce or next phase of, you know, the run, so that we're seeing how quickly our total market cap is still very, very sideways. This is a 3-day chart. The 3-day chart is showing that we've got strong money coming in and pushing up in these candles. They're still red and they're still within this, you know, channel that we've got, this downtrend channel. So, but like Didi put a video out the other day, and I put out some tweets that there's $930 million of futures about to enter the market or be recontracted. So they expired on the 2nd of July. Now, after talking to a few people in the know, just due to the long weekend that they've had in the US, normally they have 72 hours to recontract these. So, but they've had a little bit of a reprieve. So that's why we still haven't seen the volume come into the market. So we might see that volume. It's Monday here in Australia. So, you know, we might see that volume come in either late this afternoon Australia time or early tomorrow, like early hours of Tuesday morning in Australia. So if that does not get recontracted, excuse me. So how these futures work. So say they bought, if we go back through to the Bitcoin chart, when these futures were contracted, Bitcoin was at around, I think it was around 7,000, sort of, you know, 800 to 8,200. So I'm going to pull up the monthly 3-day chart. So we had, so these were contracted on the 2nd of January. So here we go.
Oh wait, you're looking at 2019 now.
Oh yeah, I am too. Hang on, I'm trying to move this. I've got the video over the top. So hang on 2 seconds. Where are we? 2020. So here we go. So we were sitting at around, depending on exchange, 7,800 to 8,200. So the market sentiment at this point in time, if we go back to Twitter, if we go back looking at what people were doing, we had a lot of shorts entering the market at this point. So if you're looking at the futures and you look at that point and people were potentially saying that we were going to, at this point here, not go up, we were still going to go down and retest this 4,700 point, similar to what they're saying at the moment. People still want it to go down. So, you know, if the whales that bought this $930 million worth of futures are in a short position, these, you know, sort of future contracts are underwater at the moment. So they, you know, if we can hold $9,000, it's going to be really, really painful if they don't release. So you know, they kind of have to release into the market because potentially, because we are holding this $9,000 mark, you know, if they release higher, they lose more money. So depending on what their liquidation point is. So, and that's another reason I think that 9,000 point is being held up right now. So because it puts these contracts in a lot of pain. So, and I was explaining this to Didi how this works. So, you know, if they can't if they're looking to the long term and they recontract this and roll it over another 6 months, but if we go higher again, it causes more pain and more space in that order. So, you know, you've got a future contract that you're in a short position and you bought it at, say, you know, $8,000 and all of a sudden the market's $16,000. That's a massive loss. So, you know, most of these are hedges and they're used to sort of, you know, hedge against other markets. But, you know, taking a massive loss like that is just insanely crazy. So I still really, really believe that these contracts will get released to the market and that we will see that candle explode upwards. So it's just not viable for these whales to hold on to these contracts right now and recontract, because I don't think we're seeing those lower regions again, especially with the way that this consolidation is showing right now in this $9,000 range.
And that's potentially happening when? In the next 24 hours, is that right?
Yeah, in the next 24 to 48 hours, I would think. So just due to the fact that, you know, America has had a long weekend for the 4th of July celebrations.
Right. So yes,
yeah,
all eyes on Bitcoin then for the next 48 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an amazing chat with Lizette, because I was like not educated enough in this whole aspect of future, so, you know, and I want to exchange knowledge. And if I can share my chart, because I was then dipping into this one, and because I always dig in deeper and deeper and deeper, of course, and then I found this strange thing. Not strange to Lisa, but strange to many maybe. I'm going to use it today in my videos again, as well, because, you know, then I found this funding rate chart, and it's a 3-day chart, and then you can see when the people look at the chart, you know, every time you can see when we had this top, so we had a very positive indicator over here every time, you know. So
yeah.
Every time we see this, and then now today everybody is yelling, we are going down. But if we would have done the same that we do the last 2 years already, we would have seen a top, and we would have seen here the positive indicator. So we are still below, we are negative, we're not even at zero. So for me, I don't think we see a top as well. So I think we need to form a little bit higher to create this another red square, as you see on the chart, because
yeah.
why would we do something different than we did already for 2 years long now? So
yeah.
that's for me also the reason why I bought some more Bitcoin yesterday, and I'm going to add, I think, some more Bitcoins today again, because I really think that Lisa is right with her charts on LTA, and I think that we can see a 1 or 2K candle in the next couple of days, and that would be just repeating something. Yeah, we already did a few times, because I saw another chart somewhere. I will stop the share. Another chart somewhere where you can exactly see the months Lisa was referring to.
Yeah.
From 2018 December till March 2019, you can see exact the consolidation phase again, and we had the same low volatility level as we see at the moment. There's another chart that shows you that we are now nearing the same volatility level as March 2018, and then on the 1st of April, bam, we went up 25%.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see the same drop in volatility at the moment as we saw at that level in March 2019. So I think, yeah, all these facts combined with the Puel indicator, with you know, all these long-term indicators I've been analyzing the last couple of weeks, I really believe we can see another another push up to a higher level than we are.
Yeah, so there's also I think it was March or April where we got a $1,200 candle, and at that point, within 60 minutes was the highest amount Bitcoin had ever moved in 60 minutes. So that was also at a strong resistance point. So we had a resistance from the all-time high. Obviously, it was in a different area because we've moved across, but it also, the market sentiment at that point was we're going to go down to 1,000. So we had people like Tone Vays saying, Bitcoin's definitely going to 1,000. This resistance has been tested too many times. We can't cross it. The same thing happened where we had these whales that had these massive amounts of contracts that they bought, futures contracts. And, the exchanges, they print tether, and they held up the price. So we hovered around 5,000 at that point. And, we got that $1,200 candle within that 60-minute period, which blasted us over that resistance point, and we headed to 10,000. So, it's a similar scenario that's happening right now. So the contracts, similar value. I think it's probably a little bit more. I think at that point they had about $600,000, $700,000 worth of contracts, and we did a $1,200 candle. So we've got 930 million of contracts right now. So, I'm predicting a 2,000 or a close to 2,000 candle, which will be the highest candle that we'll see, and puts Bitcoin on the map. So that it goes along with the whole theory that I've got right now with everything that's happening in the world. The way for cryptocurrency to, be seen and to be, sort of understood a lot more by people out there and to hit the news again is to do this sort of stuff right now. So, yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's some very big calls there, people. So everyone on their toes. I thought we were going to have a dull chat about Bitcoin doing nothing, but far from it, quite clearly.
Yeah.
We didn't spend time on Tinder the last couple of days,
You've just been at parties all weekend, from what I can tell, Didi. Speaking of, what is happening? You mentioned you might be heading to Bulgaria.
No, we don't. We really don't know. As a family, we really have a hard time. Every night, again, we sit together with a Sangsam and a glass of gin tonic and try to discover our new location. The visa runs out, so we need to go. The kids, to be honest, are getting bored over here. There are not a lot of kids of their age, so they are asking us, let's go to Europe. So then I start to focus on Europe. I believe in this law of attraction. So if you focus on something, something might happen. So I start to focus my attention and visualize this life in Europe for a few months. And I'm just looking how to combine it. And as we were speaking about it, I got a text from Bulgaria again, and that from Blockchain Valley, and they were like, "Oh, Didi, the COVID was terrible in Bulgaria. We need to do we were disrupted for 6 months. We couldn't do anything in these 6 months. We were needing to send a text message in Bulgaria if you want to do groceries, and you got a 2-hour time frame to go do groceries just by one person in the car and then come back. And so they are picking up again. And there was a time I started to become an advisor of them, and I'm still a believer in their project because I love to see all kinds of these power plants all over the world that will accelerate the decentralization of the world, that will combine all the knowledge of family and people that have the same mindset in this crypto and blockchain industry. And I just want us to, be able to live together. I never want to be locked down again anywhere, So I want these small cities to explode all over the world, and that will accelerate the development of decentralized dApps in this rapid, period that's unstoppable. If we put out like dApps all over the world, like 20 cities like this popping up these dApps all over the world, nobody is able to stop it. Nobody is able to regulate it because there's just too many new ideas flowing in, and we are slowly decentralizing the world. And they at the end just need to obey and say yes. We can't, regulate them anymore.
Yeah, obviously, I've been up there to visit Blockchain Valley with you, so it's fantastic to hear that it's that it's up and moving again. I've obviously been talking to some people here in Asia that are involved in similar projects, and some of these are actually really advanced. There's one in Myanmar, that's hundreds of homes that are already constructed using blockchain. So
in Myanmar.
So how does this work, Didi? So obviously you sold everything, and you went, you sold a house, sold your business, sold your car, sold everything. So, as a family, how much stuff do you have?
So we don't have anything anymore. We are just like a homeless family, We have 5 backpacks full with stuff. And we have, of course, our memories, like our photo albums and all that stuff. We have that storage in Spain at my wife's parents. So we have a small room there. And there are these like things from my mother and my father from the past, all that stuff, we storage that. But if it comes to like materialistic stuff, we don't own materialistic stuff. We just have backpacks with clothes. And every time we move, like a nomad, like nomads used to move, they just move. And then you get into this new house now here in Koh Phangan. And we come into the house, and then there is a piano, and then in this house there is a audio equipment, and in this house there is some toys. So every time we move, there's a new environment with new materialistic stuff to use. Because I think we slowly, as a humanity, might be moving back into this nomadic lifestyle where we don't need to own stuff, but we can share stuff, by the landing economy, by the sharing economy.
Yeah. I found when I was in Denmark, it's like, obviously because, I was just traveling there, and I was staying there for a period of time, but I just had a suitcase, and I loved that lifestyle. But if I needed to drive anywhere, they had share cars, or you could hire a bike, or you could, do so many things. And it was this amazing lifestyle. So I totally get what you're doing, but I was like, I wonder how much stuff they've got.
Yeah, it's like we flew to Thailand with 2 backpacks and 1 Eastpak, like bigger, not a suitcase, but it's like a trolley. So, and we are with 5, you just adjust life, I have 3 daughters. They love makeup. They love all that stuff. If you carry all the makeup, that's only like 6 kilo of makeup, So you adapt to life, and you just leave that one in Spain, and you go to Thailand, and you buy your makeup here again. So it's just traveling light. Sometimes they love to stay at a place. Like now, 3-4 months Koh Phangan, they loved it. Now we are in the 4th, 5th month now. Now they are like, okay, now it's getting boring, Daddy. I want to have a new adventure. The other one is like, I want to go to Holland to see grandpa and grandma and to see my nephews. The other one is not thinking at all. She's just creating T-shirts, So this like we have all different types of daughters and kids, and we just adjust every day, every time again. It's not an easy life. It's not easy at all, but it's way more easy than living the life in a house in the circle and running at hamster wheel every day. I think this one is flexible.
Yeah. See, that was what I wanted my life to be this year, and then COVID happened.
Yeah, it's the same for us. But then again, you make the best out of that situation again. If you ask my kids, they know what COVID is, but they didn't experience a lockdown. We did everything we wanted to do. And luckily on Koh Phangan, people didn't understand or didn't believe, whatever it is, that COVID was real. So they were not that, they were not that COVID minded and closing down everything. So we kept the freedom over here. I think if I was in Sean's situation, man, I would have jumped out of the 2nd floor of this building and probably killed myself.
I actually, for the very first time this weekend, I went out in public. It was strange, walking through a part of Singapore with hundreds of people out having a drink and whatever. It was really weird to see that first time in months and months and months.
It is.
That's crazy.
It is crazy, and it is also, it's also. That's why we are doubting, Lisa. So if we go to Europe now for a few months, and the second wave that everybody is expecting is going to come, then we are really fucked, because then I'm stuck in Europe. I don't want to be stuck in Europe,
Yeah.
So we just.
It all depends, I suppose, if they close down the borders, like of, if you're in Bulgaria and you're locked into that region. So Europe's a really big place. So you can go, Greece or Denmark or wherever.
And else I would leave illegally, man. I would take a boat and I would just escape there through the sea or whatever possibility there is.
I wish I could do that now in Victoria here. We've sort of got areas that are sort of a little bit locked down again because we've got the second wave coming through. So yeah, and the testing here is they're pretty much testing everyone if you go through areas. And yeah, I'm lucky I'm not in one of those areas, so I'm still able to go out and get nails done and that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy things happening in the world. Huh?
So what have they told you about your visa, Didi? I think they'd extended all the people that were stuck in Thailand till, what was it, end of June or end of July?
July, 31st of July. I think Thailand handled it perfectly. They just said, okay, guys, we cannot force you now to go because it's not possible to go. And if you want to stay, you can stay till the 31st of July. You don't need to extend your visa. You don't even need to pay for it or nothing. So that was really beautiful that Thailand did it. But even they cannot continue this. This country is a country that is built out of tourism. If they don't earn money with visas or with tourism coming in again, it's going to be a terrible year for Thailand. And
it's an interesting one. I mean, strangely with this COVID, supposedly some cities are absolutely full of cases. Thailand hasn't reported a local case for 40 days now.
It's like, I think 60 deaths in Thailand. It's like 80 million people, 60 people die.
Yeah. We've had 7 in Singapore, I think.
I still have a very hard head in believing everything what the media and everybody is telling us. I really still think it's just a flu, guys. In the same period in Thailand, more people died out of dengue.
Yeah.
So should we now close whole the world because there is dengue in South America and there is dengue in Thailand, there is dengue. It's just, it doesn't all sum up. But it probably
I got the worst flu ever in Denmark before this even happened. So it was like, I was so stuffed up and I couldn't breathe. And it's like, it was horrible. So if,
that was COVID probably, but you didn't know the name.
Exactly. You brought it to Australia, Lisa.
No, but that's exactly.
It was pre-COVID.
Yeah,
this was like a year ago, like before COVID was even a thing, and I was so stuffed up and couldn't breathe. So it's like, I'm not denying all the people that have had COVID or have lost people to COVID. That's that's really sad. But did they have underlying problems? There's so many questions. So many questions.
It is a terrible disease, and it kills people. But the flu has only killed 600,000 people in a yearly base. I just want to see the numbers now at the end of this year. I want to see how many people died of the normal flu.
I'm going to put something out there. The reason we're not flying, this is like spooky stuff, is because there's aliens watching us and they're plucking the planes out of the sky.
That would be really cool.
You heard it here first, people.
You heard it here first. It's like there's aliens and they're watching. So that's why they've stopped all the planes.
That's really cool you mentioned this. There was a television program 2 days ago in the Netherlands. Guy comes into this show and he's an alien UFO expert, and he's like, today is UFO day, and this interviewer asks him, okay, so when do we see UFOs? And he's like, you see them every day, you just don't believe it that you see them. So I'm looking at this guy, but he then started to technically tell us how it's possible that we could see them and that it's not that difficult to create an UFO and aliens, and he's like, as long that we on Earth still see a difference between black, white, or yellow, these green people will definitely never visit Earth, because we as human beings can never be ready to accept these people also as human beings, because we already don't accept the black and the yellow and the white difference. So we are never going to accept these aliens. And these aliens are so smart, they will not ever come to this Earth when we are just judging of each other.
Not easy being green.
I saw like this file of like unexplained sort of, aircraft and visitors and stuff that had been released. And I don't know how real it is or how, but it was really interesting. It was like some really interesting reading about, how many times the Earth's been visited by aliens and what these, people look like and, what the aircraft look like that, or the spaceships look like that they've been using. And yeah, so it was really super interesting.
To Area 51, Sean.
Area 51. Well, I'm waiting for Brock Pierce to be elected president of the US, and then I will.
That's if he beats Kanye. It's like, well,
Who's going to win, Kanye or Brock Pierce?
I remember, is McAfee still running?
Yeah, is he running? It's like
I think he's running, but he's also supporting, I think, Kanye. And I think Elon Musk also tweeted that he's supporting Kanye.
Kanye West is actually running for president.
Yeah, he's like fully announced.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. It's not just a pipe dream anymore, it's reality.
It is reality.
Well, I mean, Brock Pierce has got about $5 billion worth of EOS money, hasn't he? So he's probably got a fairly good campaign fund to get stuck in.
Yeah, but do you really think they have enough to like compete with people like Donald Trump?
Yeah, but when you think about history, like of presidents, wasn't Ronald Reagan a Hollywood stuntman or something?
I think he was a Hollywood star. Yeah. Wasn't Arnold Schwarzenegger a guy that just said, "I'll be back"?
Yeah, I'll be back, and then he's
sorry.
So Brock Pierce and Kanye West, that's not out there at all. Then,
but believe me, check this, Sean. Let me share my screen for 1 second. You will like this. I don't know if you can hear the sound, but you can see it. I just show you like 10 seconds.
This is Brock Pierce for those that don't know.
Oh my goodness. Can you turn it up?
Wait, I will.
Oh my God! This is his campaign video.
This is his campaign video.
Oh boy!
So
it's Kanye put one out yet? I want to see Kanye like put a campaign video out. I really want to see it. It's like, is he going to be rapping? It's like he's going to be the first rapping president of the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think everything can happen in the United States, Sean.
Anything can happen anywhere.
The first reality presidential is like, because Kim Kardashian is going to be if he gets in, it should be in the White House. Yeah. So think about it. We've got White House reality TV.
Yeah.
20 people watching out there. Can you come and pick me up, please? I've had enough of this planet.
Sean, the most positive part of everything is either one of them can win. They are all pro Bitcoin and pro blockchain. So please let Kanye or Brock win, because then blockchain and Bitcoin will explode again.
Yeah.
Look, I don't think it's far away anyway, Didi, without a pro-Bitcoin president. I really think it's in everyone's consciousness now. Just talking to guys building wealth management platforms here, I don't think we're far away from a really big uptake, actually. I really think this is a very different environment to even last year this time. So it's not far away. Not far away. So, Lisa, what was your trade of the week? Was that, are we still looking at Kava? Is that one rolling over, is it?
No, hang on. Let me get my glasses on so I can see. And let's go. And I'll share my screen. I shall give you a trade of the week. Okay, my trade of the week is ONT. So, we are right now on our channel support. We are at resistance here. So if Bitcoin breaks the resistance, which I really think it's going to do, all the alts will follow. They will probably bleed a little bit if Bitcoin sort of goes up, because it'll draw out all the dominance. So our dominance on our Bitcoin chart is right on the edge. It's dropping out of this channel at the moment. So it's not too bad if it does drop a little bit, but not for too long. Our RSI is 37, so we can drop a little bit more, but I think this region will hold, and this dominance will break through this resistance that we've been having trouble breaking through. So we've been at that since September last year. So if we do, this is another reason I think potentially we've got this big candle coming to, break through this resistance. So if you are in alts in the next couple of days, I think, tighten your stop losses, because we're in for a bumpy ride in alts if Bitcoin does take off. And so this, the alts will bleed because the FOMO will kick in with Bitcoin, and and then they'll take off afterwards. So with ONT, we should see 87 and then just over $1 in the next probably, couple of weeks to a month. So, I'm going to put this one in as a daily trade, which is a longer term trade. So, and I'm going for $1.04 on this, and I will throw a indicator up, and we're looking for all the eights, 88.88%, perfect trade. Number of money, the eights. So yeah,
Right.
So ONT is my trade of the week.
Excellent. Very good. You've been nailing those trades of the week, so I'll be watching that. Yeah, I mean, obviously really exciting couple of days coming up with those futures being released. We'll be watching that extremely closely.
Yeah.
So, look, thanks very much for your time again, you two. Always a lot of fun. I love starting my week with this.
And everyone out on Twitter, hit Sean up for the picture that he sends his
muted. Didi, what have you got in store this week? I love following your videos on the beach. How long do you think you'll be in Thailand? Obviously, I was hoping to get over there and see you. I know you guys are also looking at the House of Dow, getting that up and running. Is that in the works? You're muted, Didi.
Yeah, I need to mute myself because these bikes and everything come by. But House of Dow also slowly taking off. Some investors coming in over there. Pretty much sorting out a very beautiful location now where it could be built, but I cannot say too much about that yet. And the rest, I'm just checking flights at the moment. Because you're flexible, you can choose the cheapest days. I saw a very cheap flight into Austria, Vienna, and I think I'm going to take that one because I read this article. I made a video about it as well. And now
I saw your video. Yeah.
So 2,500 stores now in Austria accept direct payments of Bitcoins by using Salamantek's POS system. So I thought, like, if I fly there now, I will stay there a week. I will test that system. I will make some cool videos, even meet the team of Salamantek's. And then from there, you can take a cheap Ryanair flight into or Spain or Portugal or Holland or wherever you want to go.
Yeah, so, you don't have to quarantine anywhere coming out of Thailand as well, I suppose, which is the good news for you guys.
I didn't check that yet, but I don't think.
I don't think you do. You're on the welcome coming to our country list. If you're
yes, we are.
Me, on the other hand, I get locked in a room for 2 weeks.
That's why we call it the happy long time life country of.
No, it's me love you long time.
We love you long time. Make you happy many, many, many times, Sean.
Fantastic, David. Very good. Very good, guys. So, Lisa, what have you got? What's your plans this week? Anything exciting?
I don't have an exciting week this week. I've got some script edits. I have tweaked the end of my film, and I've started writing a second film, a sequel. So, which is kind of cool because, you have to watch the first film, obviously, first to know what what will happen. But yeah, so came up with this idea the other day when I was, I have a meeting every couple of weeks with Janet from Lawrence Bender Productions. And, we were talking about the ending and how it is. And it's, so we've come up with this amazing new idea as to how we can have either a sequel or maybe even a TV series, depending on what they want to do. So yeah, it's kind of cool. And that showcases crypto even more.
So no Tinder dates for you then this week. You're busy.
I'm not even on Tinder. Apparently there was something on like Twitter, and I had all these guys going, "Oh my God, I'm sitting here swiping. I heard you were on Tinder," and I'm like, "I'm not on Tinder."
All right. On that note,
Sean is. Sean's on Tinder. It's like if you want, where is he? He's here. This.
Maybe Sean can share his referral link.
I will, Didi. Absolutely.
He pops a blue pill so that he can send his Tinder dates, his photo.
Yes, absolutely. Right, I'm going to be staring at the screen for the next 48 hours and not at Tinder, waiting for Bitcoin to make that big move. And obviously following you very closely on Twitter, Lisa. Everyone watching knows to do that. If you don't, Lisa's address is below. And be very sure to follow Didi on YouTube. I absolutely love your videos. I see you're getting lots of traction with those. They're really informative and a lot of fun, and you get to see a beautiful beach on the daily, which keeps a constant smile on my face and a bit of jealousy as well. I was really hoping to get over and see you before you go, Didi. But will you have plans to come back to Thailand? Do you think later in the year?
Of course.
Yep.
Of course, yeah. We love it over here, and it's the House of Dao is really a project I believe in as well. So it's just to give the kids a few months of different social contacts and different.
But island fever, I can imagine.
Not island. It's not the island fever, because of living this life, we just get used in changing environment all the time. So we get bored a little bit, and then we just need to change and discover new adventures of people and projects, and then you can always come back. It's not that it's going away or something. Or these aliens need to come. We never know.
Well, you might be in the plane, like you book your flight to Austria, and then all of a sudden we never hear from Didi again because the aliens came and took him.
That is true. If you never hear of me again after my flight, I will probably be far behind the moon. I took off to the moon far before you guys, and I'm just playing some poker with some green-headed people, and while my daughters are dating purple-headed people in the galaxy of Uranus, or whatever you would call it on Tinder, Sean.
Oh, by the way, guys, Sean's Tinder link will be down below.
Yeah. Subscribe. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe.
I shall see you two next Monday, and no doubt have a chat offline during the week. A pleasure, as always. Thank you for watching, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
And, happy trading.
Thank you. See you next time. Bye-bye.